Okay, we are working on Chapter 9, Section 8, Factoring by Grouping. Our essential question is, how do you factor polynomials with 4 terms? Okay, down below, to factor by grouping, look for a binomial factor of 2 pairs of terms. Remember, binomial is a polynomial with 2 terms. Okay, for our first example, factoring a 4-term polynomial, 5t to the 4th plus 20t cubed plus 6t plus 24. We are going to group our first 2 terms together and then group our second 2 terms together. Looking at our first 2 our greatest common factor is 5t to the 3rd. So when I factor that out, we get t plus 4. For the second set, we have plus, we should factor out a 6, t plus 4. Okay, notice how both in the red and the blue we have t to the 4th that is in common. So we are going to write t, not t to the 4th, t plus 4, excuse me, t plus 4. And we are going to multiply that by the sum of our next 2 terms, or our 2 terms that are left over. 5t to the 3rd plus 6. So this is our final answer, the quantity 5t cubed plus 6 times the quantity t plus 4. We are going to check this real quick. 5t to the 4th plus 20t cubed plus 6t plus 24, and it checks out. Okay, let's go ahead and move down to our next example. 2w cubed plus w squared minus 14w minus 7. Okay, right away I'm going to change this to plus a negative, plus a negative. We are going to group our first 2 terms and then group the second 2 terms. Okay, for our first set, we could pull out a w squared. So we get 2w plus 1. For the second set, we could pull out a negative 7. Get 2w plus 1. Okay, let's go ahead and combine these. We have the 2w plus 1 in common. Then we are going to add w squared plus a negative 7, or simply w squared minus 7. And let's check this out. 2w to the 3rd plus w squared minus 14w minus 7, and it works. Okay, factoring completely, 45m to the 4th minus 9m cubed plus 30m squared minus 6m. Okay, the very first thing that we are going to do is pull out a GCF between all of these terms. All of these terms are divisible by 3, and they all have at least one m. Then we just rewrite it. So 45 divided by 3 is 15, m to the 3rd minus 3m squared, plus 10m minus 2. Now we are ready to do the grouping. We will group these first 2 terms and then these second 2 terms. Okay, to rewrite this, we have 3m, and I'm going to use those big brackets, and these big brackets are going to hold the factoring. Remember, the brackets are just a bigger set of parentheses. Okay, looking at our first set of terms, we could pull out a 3m squared, which leaves us with 5m minus 1. That's that portion. Okay, looking at the second portion, we are going to add that to 2 times 5m minus 1. Okay, now we are ready to combine. We have the 5m minus 1 in common. Then we'll combine the 3m squared plus 2. Then we cannot forget our brackets and the 3m. Okay, if you notice, we are just multiplying all of these terms, so we can simply write 3m times 3m squared plus 2 times 5m minus 1, because remember, multiplication is commutative. Okay, and that is our final answer. Let's go ahead and turn over to the next page. Factoring a trinomial by grouping. Okay, we have a couple steps here that we are going to record down, and then we are going to follow those steps. Our first step is to find the product of AC do not go ahead and write 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And as we record these steps, we are actually going to do them down below. So for our first step, finding the product of A and C. So we are going to do 63 times 5. So remember that we have ax squared plus bx plus c. This product is 315. Our second step is to find two factors of AC that have sum b. Okay, it looks like we need to find two factors of 315, and we have to have a sum of 44. We are going to try a couple different things. Let's go ahead and try 15 times 21. That product is 315. Then 15 plus 21 is 36. So that doesn't work. Let's try 9 times 35. That product is 315. 9 plus 35 is 44. So this works. 9 and 35 is our answer for the second step. Our third step is to rewrite. Okay, we are going to rewrite this. Go ahead and write 63d squared plus. We're going to replace our b value with the two numbers that make the b's sum. This is a legal move because 9 plus 35 is 44. Okay, our next step is to factor by grouping. Okay, let's go ahead and group our first two terms. Our first two terms are 63d squared plus 9d, because we could distribute this d through to both of those sections. We're going to add that to our second set, 35d plus 5. Go ahead and put those parentheses around there. Let's pull out a 9d of this first set. We get 7d plus 1. Second one, let's pull out a 5. 7d plus 1. This then simplifies down to 9d plus 5. Remember, we're adding those leftovers times the quantity 7d plus 1. So we have this 7d plus 1 in common. And that is our final answer, what I wrote in black. Okay, our very last example for the entire chapter. Let's look here. 4y squared plus 33y minus 70. Okay, I'm going to pull up our steps so we can have those in front of us. The first step is find the product of AC. 4 times a negative 70. Be careful since there's that subtraction sign. 4 times negative 70 is negative 280. Second step, find two factors of AC that have a sum of B. So we need two numbers that when we multiply we get a negative 280, but when we add them we get 33. So that means we'll be multiplying a negative and a positive number, and the positive number needs to be bigger since our sum is positive. Let's go ahead and just pull out the basic 28 times negative 10. That product is negative 280. 28 plus a negative 10 is 18, so that does not work. Okay, let's do 40 times negative 7. Product is negative 280. 40 plus negative 7 is 33. Great, so that one works. Okay, our third step is to rewrite. So remember, we're going to replace our B value, the 33, with 40 plus negative 7. Sorry, that should be a negative 7, not a negative 70. Okay, so we have 4, oops, let's go ahead and do this in red. 4y squared plus 40 plus negative 7 y minus 70. Okay, our next step is to factor by grouping. Our first group is going to be 4y squared plus 40y. The second group is negative 7y minus 70. Okay, let's factor these guys out. Greatest common factor between our blue set is 4y. We're left with y plus 10. Looking at the green set, let's go ahead and pull out a negative 7, y plus 10. Okay, we have y plus 10 in common. We're left with the 4y plus a negative 7, which is the same as 4y minus 7. And this is our final answer. Okay, go ahead and write your summary, write any questions you have, and we'll talk about this tomorrow. Have a great evening.